Welcome to the 40th episode of the Bloomers podcast.
That's for 40?
Yeah. We have a guest episode today with the man right here. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Nizi Hamad. I'm about to be a second year university student. What else do I have to say?
I don't know, that's good enough.
That's who I am, so.
Yeah, bro, so Z's been a fan of the channel for a long time, so, you know, obviously.
I was there for a minute. I always like seeing, like, when people try out different things, and I always just want to support, especially when it's, like, people I know. It's always, you always just got to support people, right? Because sometimes it's hard to, I guess, like, get that motivation, because sometimes some people want to, like, you want to get that good, like, reinforcement, being like, there's people that support what I'm doing, right? So
Yeah, no, and dude, that's what I love. That's why I want to record this with you, because you've been like a good supporter. Like, a lot of people don't like express it, you know. So I appreciate that, bro.
Of course.
But yeah, the first thing I always talk about how we met.
Okay.
So I remember.
Was this in Mac Hall? Was it the time I met you?
No, like high school, like when you were in like grade 11 or 10.
Grade 10, no, because that's when I went to Fowler. Oh wait, was it you went to Fowler one time, right? To
No,
visit, or was it
Never.
Never is crazy. I don't think it's that bad of a
Dude,
school.
it was an Instagram group chat.
Was it? Oh wait, no.
Remember? Don't say the name.
The
of
fantasy group chat. Yeah, I can't.
Don't say the full name.
No, I don't. No, we can't say that. I don't think we can say that. But no, it was Toomey that named it that, right?
I don't know.
It was somebody, because I remember that was the funniest group chat. Because when we started playing fantasy basketball, I bet all my money on LeBron. Just for him.
You were like the first.
Yeah, just for him to get injured that year and not play half the games. It was. This was like, I think, was this the bubble season? It was the year before the bubble season.
It was 2019.
2019.
Season. So like going into COVID.
2020. This is when he missed the playoffs, so it didn't help at all.
Yeah.
No, because I put so much money, and then at the end it was like everyone was like, and I never edit my lineups because I started and I just forget to do anything. So everyone was like, just trade me LeBron, and I was like, no.
My God, yeah, that was a weird era, but
That was fun.
that's how we met like over text, right?
Yeah, that's how we first met.
And then like I think like last year in the fall.
Last year in the fall, yeah.
It was like
September.
we ran into each other in the hallway.
Yeah, I saw you. You were with Murad, and so you're with that group of guys. You're with that group of guys I knew when we bumped into you, and I forgot how tall everyone was. Cause like
What do you mean? You're like 6'1".
I am, but like everyone around me is also very tall, and so sometimes I forget that in comparison to the average person, I'm decently tall, but then like whenever I'm next to everyone else, I'm like, fuck, I'm short. Cause a lot of my friends are like 6'3", 6'4", right?
Oh, word, okay.
And so even like if I go to like group photos, I'm a lot of time the shortest guy. And it's hilarious because then people see me and they're like, oh wait, you're not actually short.
Yeah, we're above average, bro. Like what's the average? Like 5'10"?
5'10", especially for our people. Like most Arab guys don't get above like 5'8", 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while you see like a 6-foot Arab, but we're not really that tall.
I'm not. Dude, actually, do you know where I'm from?
Yo, I don't know why I thought you were Egyptian for a minute, but
My name's Egyptian.
I know your name is, but
like my ethnic area is like Afghanistan.
Afghani,
Pakistan.
okay.
Yeah, like that's where like the people are from. It's like across the border.
But even most Afghanis aren't that big, are they?
No, bro. Most people are short.
Because I knew one Afghani kid. He was like, I think he might have been 5'11". That's it. But like most of them aren't that tall.
Yeah, most aren't.
I know one guy named Arash. He like plays soccer at MRU.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 6'3", I think, or 6'2". Tall Afghani guy.
Damn. Okay. He's rare then.
He is a rare breed.
But dude, how's school?
Honestly,
how's your what's it?
Ooh.
Say the name of the degree.
Okay, so I'm in applied mathematics is what the degree called. My minor's in data science, and it's an interesting degree. I don't know. I don't mind it because everyone looks at me like, oh, you're studying math. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it has a bad reputation for some reason.
It does.
But it's like data. That's like the big thing.
Data is a big thing. Plus, like with the problem is data science is the only reason it's a minor is because you can't do data science unless it's a master's degree or it's as a PhD, right? So everything beforehand is just like a prereq.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to do a master's in data science just because like analytics is so big and it's going to continue to get bigger. And I think that it's just analytics and statistics is a lot more complicated than people give it credit.
Mm-hmm.
Take a stats class in uni. I recommend everyone take a stats class in uni. 205, 213, 217, whatever. And just see how like weirdly complex statistics truly gets. The amount of like bullshit calculations you have to do and how friggin' absurd it gets and how many calculators you're plugging everything through. You actually realize like statistics is like way too overcomplicated.
Isn't stats or 213 or 217? Isn't one of them like really easy and it's like online?
Both of them are online.
Oh, they're both online. Oh,
but
okay.
the only thing is like 213 is like you can do all of it via just a regular calculator. 217 you have to use this program called R. So essentially you have to do like coding in statistics. Because like R in itself is like a programming language. Yeah.
I hate coding, bro. I can't stand it.
It's not actual coding, but there's like command functions to do each type of calculation.
Oh, okay.
But that's why like I call it a programming language. You have to know like the commands for everything. And like after taking like Python class and all that stuff and like coding on my own, I don't know, coding's not too bad. I think the thing is like coding is like either you like it or you don't. And
yeah.
it's hard to get.
It's literally like a one-off thing. Yeah.
It is, because I think anyone can become a good coder. It's like, because it's just I look at it, it's like math or like problem solving, right? Like anyone can do it, but do you want to sit behind a screen and like type all day?
No.
See, that's the thing.
Most people don't want to.
Most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Even like my degree requires it. I have to learn coding for it. Even then, I'm not a huge fan of it. I guess like it's good to know, but like I could honestly live without it.
Are you passionate about work? Because I know like for me, like I'm passionate about like people. I love like working with people like in jobs and stuff. But I don't I don't have like a passion for one specific thing, you know? Are you like that?
I think the problem with me is like I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Because when I first came to university, I was studying political science.
Yeah.
And then I transferred. So for me, it was like, even till today, I still want to do law. I think law is kind of where I want to get into. And then the only reason I think that math and like statistics and data science was big was because I was like, if I want to do corporate law or taxation law and things like that, like having a math statistics background is really good. But then like as I kind of went along, I was like, I really like other fields in law and I like all these other topics and I really enjoy math and I enjoy stats. So I think it's kind of like I just want to see like how many things I can open up for myself and see where I land. But like
that's good.
But I think I like people more than I like working. Because even at work, like whenever I work, like I've worked a lot of different like minimum wage jobs. I think the best ones were like when you work with other people or you work in a team. I hate jobs where you're by yourself. Like I think probably the worst one's like a superstore. I worked at a superstore for a bit, and I used to do like the milk crates and like I used to work in dairy. I used to have a manager that used to kick milk crates at you.
Like.
No, I'm
the
like,
crate, the jugs.
So the jugs come in these like so it's like 4 jugs in a crate.
Okay.
Like those like plastic crates. And so what happens is like you have to go to the front of the door, like the fridge, to like take out the old crates, push them back so the new ones drop in, right?
Oh yeah.
If they're not freshly done and the manager catches you, like the department manager caught you, he would like put them on the conveyor belt that pushes back and he would like boot it at you. And so one time we're at the back and I just like see this thing get whipped at us, and my coworker's like, "Fuck, we're in trouble." He's like, just put everything back, fix it, just like pretend you didn't notice it. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, "What's going on?" This is my second day at work, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then afterwards, he like just yells at us, and we're like, "What?" He's like, "You're being too slow." And I was like, "Dude, I can't do this."
See, dude, this is the problem. We were talking about the what was it, the amusement park?
Callaway Park. No.
Like, talking about that and like this. Why are these minimum wage like managers and like management? Why are they so like, weird?
Callaway was weird. So in Callaway there's like managers and there's like team leads. My team lead was younger than me. I think I was 17 or 18 when I worked at Callaway.
They were like 16.
They were like 16. Yeah, 16, 17. They were the year below me, or they were like a couple months younger than me. And like I got there and I was like, this is just weird. I've never had anyone train me that was younger than me. That was a first for me because I was like, dude, there's no way. And Callaway was just a weird environment. I think most of me, like anyone that works in an amusement park could probably get this. It's just the way that it's operated. It's all operated by kids. It's like kids and young adults. Like Callaway is like, because they give you above minimum wage. Right? They pay you like 17 or say 15.75, something like that.
Just 75 cents about.
But for a kid, like you see this exercise, it's like, oh shit, I'm balling.
Yeah.
And like, and you're working like 4 or 5 days a week, 8 to 10 hours.
It's such a far drive out though, right?
There's a bus.
Oh,
So
really?
Callaway has this like commute bus that picks you up from like certain spots. So yeah, it's not crazy, but the bus to get there is like an hour. So I remember when I worked there, it was you hop on the bus. It takes like an hour to get there because you have to go through all the stops. Once you get to the park, then you're there for 8 to 10 hours, depends on your shift. And even if your shift finishes early, like say you have like an 8-hour shift, but the bus doesn't, say you start at, like the bus gets you there by 8, like you get on the bus by 7, you get to the work at 8, your shift doesn't finish, your shift finishes say 4 or 5, but the bus doesn't come till 6. You gotta wait.
There's so much time wasted.
You gotta wait. It's a lot of time wasted. So that was like the biggest thing. So you always wanted to get those shifts where it was like the second bus that came at like 10, and you wanted to get off at 6. So then you could avoid it. But that was the year I worked. I only worked for like 2-3 weeks, and then I quit because I was like,
this is unbearable.
It was unbearable because they just don't treat you right. That's my biggest thing. I think when you work a minimum wage job, I think the biggest thing is like understanding it is a minimum wage job. Don't deep it. Because I remember when I worked at every job I worked at, there's always that 15, 14-year-old kid that gets this new hire that they treat this job like it's the world. And they do everything the manager tells them to do, and they're just like, they're like on their knees for the manager. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, kid, don't do that to yourself. Because you don't need to.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, bro, about the gym. Because you are a tank, bro. Mashallah. You are like huge, man.
Thank you.
I wanna know like what's the experience? What benefits does it give you? Like, what do you think about
The
it?
gym? Okay. Well, the gym was an interesting journey for me. So it's like, I think it was grade 11.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 5'10", 5'11", maybe. And I'd hit like 240 pounds, 250 pounds. Pure fat. No muscle. I'm talking, it was so bad. And so my friends used to always joke around with me when I was younger and be like, oh, they used to call me like titties and stuff. They used to call me like milkman. It was really bad. So I used to get picked on a lot for like,
So mean.
for being overweight. Guys are like that. I don't particularly like it, but that's the problem. Like a lot of guys are like that. They wanna, they'll like make funny for being fat. And so what happens is, I eventually lose this weight because I ballooned during COVID, and I was like, well, I was eating like a full family bag of chips a day. I had really bad eating habits. So yeah, I was spending all my money on that shit. It was so bad. So eventually I said, I'm gonna lose weight. So it all started with an exercise bike and running. So it was a bunch of cardio a day, and I didn't know how to work out. So I had a couple dumbbells at home. It was like shoulder press, it was bicep curls.
This is the basic stuff.
Stuff, but I was not doing like anything with triceps. I was not doing my chest. I wasn't doing any back really. Maybe did like one back exercise. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like running, and so I lost a bunch of weight, and then it was like skinny fat. So it was like I had just fat and bones. There was no muscle.
Yeah. And
so then eventually when I got and throughout high school I like played sports. So I like played basketball, and I was on like a basketball team. I was always successful in basketball and stuff because like I like learned how to like jump and learned how to move, whatever. So that's like kind of the big shift for me. And eventually I got to a point where I was like, damn, I'm not getting any more athletic. I'm not getting any more like any stronger. And I said like, okay, well shit, like how am I gonna get better? And this is like the end of my basketball season. And so I said,
was this grade 11 or 12?
This is grade 12. Grade 11 I had no season because of COVID. So at the end of grade 11 I went through the whole thing. I lost the weight. I got skinnier. Fast forward to grade 12. So probably March of grade 11 I started to lose weight. By July of that summer, I was like in pretty decent shape. Fast forward to September, just practicing for basketball, getting ready for the season, all this stuff. Finished the season by like March, beginning of April. I was on the soccer team for a bit, and then after I said, well, shit, I have no sports. What am I supposed to do? So I said, I'm gonna start lifting because like the school gym was open every day after school, and so I started like just lifting. I started like asking around, learning, and when I started, I was this like big guy. I couldn't bench the bar.
Oh, really?
I'm serious. I couldn't bench 45 pounds. It was horrendous. Damn. Yeah. And so my dad used to always like be on my ass about working out. So he used to be like, you're not a real man, so you can do 50 push-ups. Not a real man, so you can do 50 push-ups. And so I always used to think about it. I was like, shit, I got to do like hella push-ups. And I was always resistant because I was one of those kids that was like, I don't want to listen to anyone when they tell me to do it. Yeah. And then one day I was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. Sorry, I just didn't go on my legs, my knee buckles. But no, because I was just like, I appreciate that. No, but I was just like, damn, I really got to get it. Because my dad used to work out a lot when he was at my age. And he was like, I need you to do it for like confidence, so you look good, all this other things. And so then eventually I started doing it. And just it kept improving. And it came fast to me. Because like naturally, thank the Lord, I have a good build. Like to start out, I had like bigger shoulders. I had a big back, whatever. So for me, it was just filling out my frame, just adding muscle to it. Yeah. But I didn't have to build my frame, which is good. And so probably July, I started going to this one gym every day, practicing, whatever. I get to September, I meet these two great guys. These are Dean and Alfie. These are just like two of the nicest guys I've met in my life. I love them so much. But these guys, like, they really got me more into the gym because they were gym guys for 2-3 years. They'd had their whole gym journey going from like skinny guys to like jacked. Okay. Yeah. And they kind of like taught me the ropes, like how to lift properly, how to not get injured, all these other things. And then as just talking around to people in the gym, asking the biggest guy here, the guy that's pushing crazy weight, like, how do you lift this? How do you move this? Whatever.
Do the boss do that, bro?
Dude, because they're
That's
nice.
scary.
They're nice. I'm telling you. Go to the biggest guy at the gym and just like ask him a question. Be like, hey, how do you do this? How are you lifting? Can you teach me like form, whatever? Dude, they'll teach you. Because a lot of those big guys, they know how it feels to be like the smallest guy in the gym, right? Because they were there at one point, and so they're gonna be super sympathetic. Like even the other day, like I was in the gym and some guy was like, dude, can you like explain to me how to like do this lift? Because I could tell this guy was a beginning. I just told him, I was like, dude, you're killing it. Like you look good. Like whatever, right? Because sometimes guys, you just need to hear that, right?
Yeah.
And I wish people told me that when I was doing it, right? Because no one really told me I was looking good till like I got to a certain point, and I could already tell myself that, right? And that was like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to hear it, and so when you tell guys like, "Oh damn, you're looking good," whatever, people feel like more safe in the gym because it's a really nice environment. I think most people are really nice. I think TikTok and social media kind of fucks up the view a little bit because there's a lot of weird people that like, oh look at this goofy guy in the gym, whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's so stupid.
I think most guys in the gym are really sweet, at least in my experience.
Yeah.
Just don't be the weird guy that like talks to girls in the gym. That's my biggest pet peeve. When I see guys talking to girls, no, because you understand, like when you're in the gym, you're like most people are like locked in, and I think most girls feel uncomfortable in the gym because of it. Because like think about it, they're not like covering themselves fully. They're wearing comfortable clothing for the gym, and a lot of the time that's like whatever type of clothing. That's fine. They're within the right to do, obviously. But it's like when a guy comes up to you and starts talking to you and being like, hey, how are you today? And like she's just trying to work out. Yeah. She's gonna feel fucking uncomfortable. My sister tells me about this sometimes. Like she'll be in the gym and someone will say like hi to her and she doesn't know them. And she's like, I'm just trying to work out. I just want to run.
It is the wrong place to like approach women. Yeah.
100%.
And some creeps are gonna do that. Yeah, word.
What's the worst places to approach women?
I think gym is definitely one. What else?
I don't know why I thought an aquarium or zoo was a bad place to approach women.
Okay, no.
I feel like that's not too bad of a place, actually.
That's like a childish place. I feel like in the neighborhood, like if someone's on a walk and you just like walk.
But she's running at night.
She's going after them.
Yeah, no. So you just gotta run after her, make sure she gets home safe. Like, so like, okay, I'm just gonna wait for you here. But like, back to the whole point about like the gym and like how to get into it. I think the biggest thing was because you asked me this earlier about. Because behind the scenes you were asking me earlier about consistency and like motivation, right? I think the biggest thing is have everyone's gonna start with a purpose. Like, oh, I want to look better. I want to feel better. I want to lose weight. I want to deadlift 500 pounds. I want abs. I want to look better during sex. Like, there's a bunch of like random reasons people like work out.
Yeah.
And I think like confidence, whatever. So I think when you do these things, like you have a goal set in mind, eventually you're gonna reach it. Give it a year or two, you're gonna reach your goal. And then once you reach it, I think you just gotta stay consistent. Because I think once you're in it, you get addicted to it. Like you want to be in there all the time. Because I think like for me, like my mood fluctuates when I don't go to the gym or I don't do any physical activity. If I don't go on a run, if I don't go on a walk that day, if I don't hike, if I don't play basketball, if I don't play any sports, I don't work out.
It's like a must for you.
It's a must, and it's good because like it helps me sleep better. It helps me de-stress. And I'm not saying people should use gym as like therapy for de-stressing. I'm talking like you need a hobby in general just to de-stress. Yeah. Like some guys go fishing, some guys paint, some guys do knitting. Like that's up to you.
Yeah, you're right, bro.
And you just need that kind of fix, right? At least for me, the gym is just like a fix. It's like, hey, when I come home and I'm really stressed, what can I do is gonna cheer me up? Okay, I'm just gonna do a couple push-ups here or whatever, and I'm gonna feel better. But yeah, I think the best thing is just like kind of have a goal in mind, and then naturally you're just gonna have the desire to keep going, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Do you still feel like has there ever been a point where you're like super anxious or like you were anxious about the gym and like being there?
Oh, okay. So for me, the biggest thing about anxious, I used to wear really baggy clothing in the gym. I used to wear these like huge short, like these huge like sweatpants with this like triple XL shirt. Because I was like, I pray to God I don't want to be that small guy in the gym. I want to like look as big as possible.
Yeah.
And then eventually I realized, I was like, dude, half the guys in the gym are small. Half the guys in the gym aren't in the best shape. And everyone's just there to improve themselves. So you just got to you got to thug it out. I think the biggest thing is thug it out, man. Honestly, I think the biggest thing, find a gym partner or find someone you work out with. Because that gym partner or that person with you is really going to help you feel comfortable. Because it's hard sometimes to do it alone. And you're also not going to feel super motivated. Work out with a friend versus work out by yourself is a huge difference. You push more weight, you go on longer, your face goes red.
Yeah, you make more noise when you're listening, like crazy sounds.
I feel so bad sometimes because a lot of people like I sometimes will like slam a weight or I'll be like,
Yeah.
and I like apologize to the person next to me. I'm like, I'm sorry about that. I don't want to be that douchebag. That's the thing. And there's nothing wrong with it. The problem is I hate making noise. I want to minimize because I've always been bigger in stature and like I used to talk a lot when I was younger, and so like everyone would notice me, and so eventually I got to a point in my life I'm like, dude, I just want to not be noticed, and that's what I loved about university because you're just a number.
Dude, that's funny. Oh my god. I actually, dude, I want to see. I haven't ever gone to the UFC gym. If I do, I'll definitely tell you because
Come, it's a super welcoming environment.
Really, that's so like.
I just want to work there.
I don't believe that. I need to see it to believe it.
There's a lot of guys on roids though. That's the one thing I'm gonna say.
Really.
There's a good amount of guys on roids.
Like, just from their bodies, or
you can tell from their build. Funny story. One of my friends. I was saying. So Alfie is one of the guys that helped me get into the gym more heavily.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the change room one time, and he got offered steroids by someone.
What?
Yeah, someone offered him steroids in the change room, and we couldn't tell if he was serious or not. This was a story he was telling me because he was just like he was telling me he's in the gym, he goes to the change room, and someone's like, you want to buy it, like whatever, and he's just like, what the fuck? He like looked at him in complete disbelief, and then like they just kept going, but like he felt so weird after. He was like, fuck, that like makes me feel awkward.
Yeah. Because
like he was sitting there and he was like, damn, like why is this guy specifically offering me steroids? Do I look small? All this other thing. Like it's gonna get to your head, right? Especially when offers you steroids. And the thing is, he looks crazy good. This guy, like he got like this like crazy V-taper build, like worked his ass off for it. Props to him. And so like I would be fucking pissed if I worked out for 2-3 years and someone offered me steroids. I would be so tempted to slap them. I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
No, that's just dude. Because isn't that stuff like illegal? Like you get it from like your doctor or something, right? I don't know how you get it.
So steroids is weird. I don't even know how you get steroids. I know there's some like supplement shop like this. You didn't hear it from me, but there's some supplement shops that you could buy steroids from.
Yeah. I'm
not gonna say anything else than that, but like there's some places you can buy steroids from, and it's more common than you think. Weirdly enough.
Really.
A lot of guys. There's some guys like you can tell by like weird signs. Like guys are like my biggest thing is like guys who have like crazy shoulder veins. And massive builds. Like if someone is like over 230 pounds, like lean, that's like my that's not you because like think like look at the biggest bodybuilders in the world, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have Ronnie Coleman. You got Jay Cutler. All these other big guys. Like they were natural for a point in their career, and then they started taking steroids, and you can tell the difference. Like when you're on roids, like your body looks. It looks, in a way, disgusting. I kind of look at it. Like, and also, the other thing is acne. Your back acne goes crazy.
I was going to say, I've seen some videos where, like, they get, like, their whole skin messed up. And that's how you can tell if someone's using steroids. That's
one of the biggest signs, So the back, and it's not just, like, back acne. Because a lot of people just have crazy back acne because, like, they sweat more or whatever. They have large amount of natural testosterone or whatever. But it's, like, they look like they're a burn victim. Yeah, that's kind of how I say it, like, because like when someone has that much, you're like, well, that person's definitely on it. But that's not to discredit. Like some people just have crazy builds. You can never know unless someone's tested, and you test like how much testosterone they're actually producing, or two, they admit it. Like there's one guy in the gym. He's a pretty big guy, but he admits he's like, I did a steroid cycle, and a cycle is like about 3-ish months, I think, something like that. So like he admitted to doing a steroid cycle, and so like you look at him, you're like, well, he's massive, but I respect him because he's honest. Yeah. But I will never discredit someone that uses steroids because I think you still have to work really hard to be on steroids. Like you can't. It's not like you just plug them in your butt and then all of a sudden you're like you're the biggest guy on earth. Like you got to work twice as hard. You got to eat amazing. Because one of my friends they know a guy back home, and this guy he uses steroids, but he doesn't work out, right?
So why is he using it?
Well, fuck if I know. And so this is a story that they were just telling me about. This guy like he used steroids and that guy didn't work out at all, and he was just like he just had all the downsides because like steroids messes you. Like you can't like guys who use steroids like their like ball strength, their ability to like get horny stops, their brain development gets messed up. They get large amount of estrogen. Like they start getting like
what's the word?
I forgot the name of the thing.
Gynecomastia.
They get we call it gyno is what everyone calls it. But you get like gyno. You get all these other problems. Like your body produces a large amount of estrogen and doesn't produce any testosterone because you're injecting it into yourself, and your body shuts down its ability to produce it.
That's weird.
So it really messes you up for life. Like, even look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, look at Ronnie Coleman, all these other like bodybuilders who did it professionally. They have to get testosterone prescribed by their doctor just to keep functioning. Like,
yeah, no, that's
like
definitely not what you want to do.
No, it's crazy. And like, I get it. You want those extra 15, 20, 30 pounds of muscle, but is it really worth it? Because like because the problem is like you're doing it for, I think unless you're getting paid to be on steroids, like the pro bodybuilders who are making crazy amounts of money. Well, not crazy, because even guys who do professional bodybuilding, like when you're on stage, I think Mr. Olympia wins $50,000. That's it. For all the years you spend training, all the amount of money on steroids, all the years, you're not making any. It's all via like sponsorships. If you're getting sponsored a lot, you're gonna make money, right?
Yeah.
But like that's like if you're the top like maybe 4 or 5 in the world. It's like you're not making money off bodybuilding, and if you're not making money, I don't see the point on using steroids unless like you're very in dire need that you feel the need to get muscle. But still, there's like natural ways to do it, and I think people gotta like love themselves in the gym. That's the biggest thing. Because if you don't love yourself in the gym, you're more likely to make a bad decision.
Yeah, I think people just want to take shortcuts, man, and just get there quick, like to the big size or whatever. But you can just do it naturally, man. And it probably feels better too when you do it naturally. Get to that point.
But naturally takes a while, dude. Like especially if you don't have great genetics, it's so because like your luck of the draw matters so much in how fast you can build muscle. Like I think, like I've always said this, like I'm very blessed with genetically, at least when it comes to like putting on muscle. And so for me, I built big shoulders and big arms and these other things like pretty quickly, and it felt really good. But I see some of my friends, like I knew one of my friends was telling me he wanted to bulk. And I went and got food with him at lunch one time, like here on campus. And you know those like 6 packs of sushi, where it's like the 6 pieces and thing.
Yeah.
And he was telling me he's trying to bulk, and he couldn't finish the whole thing. And it's like I realized like it's hard to force yourself to eat to build muscle, because some guys they just don't like eating, and so watching some people try to bulk or put on mass, it's difficult.
Well, if you're burning all those calories in the gym, you're naturally gonna want to eat more. So doesn't that
you are? But some guys just don't like eating. I know guys that will work out every day for like an hour or two. And they'll go out and they just can't eat. They physically just like gag when they eat, and that's an eating disorder in itself. But like some guys just they eat at like 800 calories a day, and like they're good to go. And I don't understand that.
That's not enough.
Because when
nowhere near enough.
At my biggest, I was probably eating like 4,000 calories a day. Damn. You should catch me on a cheat day. On my cheat days, I'll easy 5K. What's your
5K. Diet? What are the foods?
For my diet,
for the cheat day.
On a cheat day, full family size bag of chips, like a full bag of Miss Vicky's.
That's kind of fun.
I like it. I don't mind it. And then like just random snacks are there, like maybe like a cookie here. You know, you eat like a big meal here and there. Like you eat like 3-4 meals. Thing is like when I a lot of time when I start eating like junk food, I just keep going. And it takes me a while to like get out of that, like, okay, you gotta stop, or else this is a problem. I remember my grandma's house. Like my grandma used to always like have junk food around, and so every time we went to go visit, it was like she had a whole drawer filled with like all the bags of chips you want. And my aunt, my aunt was from the States, and she used to always bring these like limited edition like flavored Oreos and these other like crazy stuff from the States.
You don't have that stuff,
and we don't have it. And the second I get it, I was like, eating the whole bag.
It's good for bulking too.
It's like, not good for bulking. You don't build muscle like that.
No, like you get fat, right?
Yeah, but like
turn the fat into muscle.
That's not how that works. No, that's not how that works.
I don't really know how.
Okay, so fat to muscle. Okay, so how that works is like, how do I explain it? There's like a thing everyone talks about is like mass moves mass. It's like the heavier you are, the more you can lift.
Yeah.
So a lot of people when they're like bigger, they can like lift more weight. But the thing is, it's like fat to muscle doesn't really work. It's just like you have more, because fat's just energy, right? So it's just like you have more energy to like work out. That's kind of the whole idea of it. Okay. But it's not converting fat into muscle. You're just using the fat as energy to then work out, then to eat the right things to gain the muscle. That's kind of how I look at it. Okay. But like,
that makes sense.
But also, when you are a bigger guy, you're probably going to have a lot more muscle underneath your fat, because like your body requires a lot more strength to like hold yourself up. To move around, like when because I have really bad knees because of I used to play, like when I played basketball, I was like always overweight, and so it really messed up my knees. But when I like lost a bunch of weight, dude, my legs were toned, like fully toned, and it like a bunch of my other friends, like they worked out legs for years and they couldn't get it, and I was just like, oh, I played sports and I lost weight, and then that was all I needed.
Yeah, because you were holding up yourself the whole time. Yeah, that's sick, dude.
That was the biggest thing. Yeah. But that stuff's crazy. I think the gym is like probably the best thing I say people should try. I think it's one of the most fun.
Your favorite hobby?
Favorite hobby? No, I still like playing basketball way more than that. I also like cooking a lot. Cooking is fun. Cooking with my dad specifically. Because my dad is like a perfectionist in everything. No matter what it is, whether it's work, whether it's like cleaning the yard, it's always like, you gotta be perfect at it.
Do you cook your own food ever?
Me, on occasion. But like most of the time, like if my mom's gonna cook, I just eat whatever she makes. Like I don't complain. Because like most of the time whenever your mom cooks, it's probably gonna have like decent like macros in it. You know, you can have your proteins, your fats, your carbs.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
And dude, Middle Eastern food is so fire.
It
That's my favorite like area of the world. What the hell do you call it? Cuisine or whatever.
Cuisine, yeah.
That's like my favorite like region. You know,
I think
it's just so good.
It's good food. The thing is, I hate when people tell me they like Arabic food, and I'm like, "What's your favorite food?" And their response is like, "I love shawarma." And I'm like, "I'm gonna smack
That's what
you.
I'm thinking.
I'm gonna throw you across the. I'm gonna actually drag you across the desk right now."
What is it then? What else is there?
Dude, what do you mean? What else is there? You understand? Shawarma is the lowest quality. Shawarma is like street food. You're talking like the cheapest cuts of meat, just dumped in seasoning. That's what shawarma is.
So good though, man.
It is because it's lathered in seasoning. It's everything tasty you would want, but it's not like great food. You gotta have like kusa mahshi. You gotta have fetti.
I don't know.
Baqtarish is one of my favorites. You gotta have wara anib. Wara anib is the shit. So,
I can't put pictures to these names.
Yeah, don't know the thing about Arab food is like always something stuffed in something else. It's always some vegetable or some leaf. It's like stuffed with rice and meat. Always.
Okay.
That's like one thing we like. Or it's like if we're gonna make a meal, it's gonna be like layered. Like feta is like, it's like
fire.
It's like, have you had feta?
No, like layers. I know like layered food in general,
Yeah.
like lasagna or like that was like I had like opa yesterday, which is like Greek, kind of near like Turkey, you know.
You're gonna offend
It's
someone
like-
by saying that. we knew one of our fun ongoing jokes in our friend group was like, "Oh man, go to Opa. It's like authentic Greek food." This shit's not authentic Greek food.
Yeah, I know. I have a Greek friend. She's like, no, it's not like it at all. I don't know, man. Arab food, I just think of shawarma. That's it.
Everyone thinks shawarma. Shawarma is like the easy pickup because it's the most digestible food to sell to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not digestible in like it's easy to eat. It's digestible in the fact that it's like throw something in like a wrap, throw some garlic sauce and vegetables and like call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easy to brand, right? And then like that's the thing because like it's super easy to brand that stuff.
Yeah.
Because remember when you come to Canada or you come to the States and you want to like sell that stuff, it's like, oh, what's most digestible to, or what's gonna be most appealing to like
The West.
to the West,
Yeah.
to the West, and they're gonna think of anything with like some sort of bread, meat, and vegetables. They love it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's simple.
oh yeah.
Okay, I want to change the topic a bit.
Go for it.
So, one thing I always talk about with guys, because it's fun.
Okay, go
is
for
relationships.
it. Relationships. Oh god. Okay,
What are your thoughts? What are your
my
thoughts?
thoughts on this?
Are you in a relationship? If not, why?
No, I'm not in one.
And why?
Why? Shit, I'm young. I'm not trying to be locked down. No, I think it's just like finding good people with like the same values as you is like a difficult thing. And I think shit, it's just how to explain it. Relationships are weird, man, because like when I was in high school, right, it was like it's different than it is when I got to uni. Because in high school, it used to be like people just date each other for like whatever. They're just bored.
It's like fun, right?
They're like bored and horny, right? So they
Yeah.
just go and date. And for me, like in high school, I was never like I had no game. I couldn't talk to girls. I was so bad at it.
Risk.
No, I hate using the word Riz. Riz is like I
Sorry.
had no charisma.
Okay. Yeah.
I know Riz originates from charisma. I had no charisma. I
It's
couldn't.
the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, but like just saying like, oh, we got W Riz. Like
It's Gen Z terminology.
I like Riz is fun sometimes, but like I like unless I'm insulting someone, I never like to use the word Riz.
Okay. Okay, so what's the? Is it just
Sorry.
a young thing? Like you're not.
I think it's just the fact that it's like at this point in my life, it's so hard to, I guess, like manage it in an extent. Cause and also like I grew up Muslim, right? And so like my family is religious, and so for me it's like I just like was taught it's like nothing, you're not supposed to like date before marriage type shit. And
Yeah.
like obviously like you try your best because like there's a lot of beautiful people out there. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but it's always hard, and especially like if I was to date, a lot of it would have to be done in secret, or it'd have to be like no touching, you're just going on dinner dates, things like that. And I know myself. I don't think I could do that. Not at this age, right? And also, I don't got my life figured out like that. Like, what am I gonna really present to a girl and be like, yeah, I have like all my shit figured out? Because I don't, right? So
we do not at this point.
We don't, and it's like you're gonna date in the hopes that this one works out, and it's like, and there's some guys I know that like they're in relationships for a couple years, or they're with someone that, and they look like they could be together for the rest of their lives, and I'm like, power to you. But I think at this point in my life, it's just different. Because, like, when I was in, like I said, when I was in like, high school, like, I had no game. I couldn't talk to girls. And then I got to, like, probably like grade 12-ish. And I was like, yeah, like, it's not hard to talk to girls. And I got to uni, and it got easier, right? Because you just, like, you build that confidence. You learn how to talk, whatever. And it's just, like, I don't know. Like, when you actually start talking to a lot of girls, you realize, like, they don't have a lot of substance. Because I think the biggest thing is, like, a lot of girls, it's so easy for them to get guys. They never really had to develop that like level of personality to like really grab you in. I think a lot of guys have like go watch those like Jubilee videos. Have you seen them? Like the 6 guys versus 1 guy, whatever.
Oh, the YouTube channel.
Yeah, like Jubilee, like the YouTube channel. Like there's like one video. It was like guys riz up girls, and then another one's like girls riz up guys, and it's just like, dude, it's so funny because the guys are like spitting. The guys are spitting game. I'm not saying all of it's great, but it's like decent. And you watch the girls, and the girls are just, they're not even that good at it. It's just the guy starts doing it instead.
Yeah, because that's how, like, that's the trend, and that's how, like, what we're, like, biologically made to do.
I think so.
Which I kind of disagree with to some extent, but I also understand as a girl, like, if you don't want to, like, approach men, you know?
Guys are scary.
But
I don't blame them. Guys are weird. Like, I'm gonna be honest, because, like, look at most guys. Like, you'll catch, like, if a girl says hi to a guy, or, like, whatever, even if it was like just a basic like statement, oh, you dropped your wallet, you know, he's gonna text his boys, be like, man, this bad, she was trying to chirp to me, whatever.
And that's so stupid because that's not how it is. Like, that's not they take kindness, like people take kindness, especially guys, they take kindness
for flirting.
Yeah, which is not right. And it's like,
and that's because guys are not nice to each other. That's the thing, because when you don't experience how to be a nice person a lot of time, you forget that when she's just saying hi, it's not, I want to do you, baby. That's not what they mean. Like, you're taking it to such an extreme. Yeah, so my coworker, he was, like, telling me, he's like, yeah, like, if a girl likes your story, that's just flirting. Or if a guy likes a girl's story, it's just flirting. And I was like, there's no way you believe this. He's like, no, because, like, that's just the most flirtatious thing you could do, you know what I mean? She wants me for real, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, there's no way.
Yeah.
Okay, you just post something, someone's being nice, like, I don't even pay, like, I don't think, if you pay way too much, if you, like, I this is, like, the phrase I use, like, you're deeping it too much, like, you're overthinking it. And you start thinking that's, like, oh, whatever's happening here is, like, it's something behind it. And she could just be like, oh, he looks good here, just heart it, not, I want him, like, it's different.
Yeah. That's why you just gotta talk and, like, shoot your shot, just see what happens. Like, it's it's not, like, a big deal. The like biggest, people make it out to be a big deal, but it's not.
It is. It isn't. Sorry, it isn't. It's not a big deal. I think the biggest advice I could give to any guys, I was like, even if you don't want to like date someone or you want to go with someone, just talk. Just see a random girl. If she's like looks comfortable, she's like sitting down somewhere like a library maybe, and she's not working, or she's like just at a cafe by herself. I think you saying hi isn't that bad.
Yeah.
You could say hi like I just want to say like you look really pretty today, something like that, like something simple, like, or hey, like what are you reading, or hey, like maybe like you've seen the girl before, like hey, I've seen you around here before, like something, like try to start some sort of conversation. Anything.
It's not weird, not creepy.
How are you doing today, baby girl? You're not. You don't starts foaming at the mouth. You see her like
masculine urge. Bro.
The masculine. just starts foaming at the mouth. I saw a girl today.
That does not happen, by the way. Okay?
She really wants me. Okay, just let it happen.
Oh my God.
No, I think the problem is a lot of guys, they don't know how to talk to girls because they watch a lot of these. I'm not gonna lie, like this. I know this is a podcast, but like a lot of guys like be watching these podcasts with like those alpha men and shit. We're telling them like, if you make money, these hoes are gonna want you, and that's the biggest problem. I think they're right to an extent because you're gonna get the weird type of women if you just want that. It's a different type, and I think it also depends on location because a lot of those podcasts are like LA, Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in a party demographic, and they're like they just want your money. Well, dude, move to freaking Manitoba. Go to Idaho. I don't think Saskatchewan. I don't think they care.
Yeah.
As long as you're like a decent guy. I'm not saying be like completely broke. Obviously, you got to make your money, but like, I think pulling girls is not as hard as everyone makes it out to be.
It's not about money, like, mainly.
It's not about money. It's what you carry yourself. Just be confident.
Yeah.
I always joke about this, but it's always like, I've seen some bare ugly guys with like beautiful girls, and I sit there, I'm like, how the hell did he pull that off? And then but you just sit there and you think about it. He could just be a really good talker. He could be a really sweet guy.
Exactly.
And she just sees that, and she's like, I just want to be with him, and that's good, because it shows that like, girls not shallow like that. Like a lot of guys think girls are shallow. They just want 6 foot guys with abs, and it's just crazy. I'm gonna tell you this. I was not 6 foot for a long time in my life, and I never had abs in my life, and I don't think it's ever been a problem.
Yeah, it's not. It's that's just like a stereotype. It's like a trend. That's not real.
No.
And no woman who's like actually looking for like a man, like a good man, will focus on that stuff.
Well, that's the thing is, it's like, how do I explain it? It's their ideal man, right? Their ideal man's gonna be 6'3". He makes $600K a year, whatever. But that's like, if they got lucky and they met a guy like that who was interested, they're gonna try their best to make it work out.
Yeah.
But he could beat them, and I don't think she's gonna stay. Like, you never know what those types of guys are like. And even like regular guys, like, you could be a really sweet guy, you can make a livable wage, and you could just have a decent figure, whatever. Obviously, it helps to be in better shape. It helps to make money, whatever. But I think if you're a genuinely good person, your values align, and you're a respectful person, and you pull your weight around in a household, then you're fine. Because I think a lot of guys forget they also have to pull their weight in a household. No, I'm serious.
You be like a father and stuff as well. Yeah.
You gotta, not just a father, but like, bro, you gotta help around the house. Like, there's a lot of I think the biggest thing about feminism, which was actually really, really good, I fully agree with this, but it was like,
what?
So guys in society for hundreds of years, thousands of years, what did a guy have to do? Make money.
Yeah.
That's about it. Make money. What else is a guy really required to do in the household?
Yeah, but yeah.
Raise your kids was like optional. Your wife could do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they looked at it. So, and then now it's like feminism was like, hey, as a guy, you gotta pull your fucking weight around the house. You gotta be a good dad. You have to help out with the dishes. You gotta do whatever. Take out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's no, because now, like, think about it. Girls can get their own money. Yeah. Girls can go to school. They can do whatever. Like, so for them, she can get $100K a year, she can get $250K a year, just like he can. Well, what else is he proud of? He has to be a good listener. He has to be empathetic. He has to help around the house, and that's like good. And like, if you want to run your relationship completely where the guy just makes money and the girl does everything else, if people are comfortable in that type of relationship, that's power to them.
Good for them.
They can, if they want to do it, fuck it. That makes you happy. Do it. No one's gonna stop you.
Yeah.
But you have to also be aware as a guy that like you gotta have more than just, I guess, like being in good shape and having money. And even then, like, most guys were not in good shape back in the day, anyways. So.
Yeah, and that whole thing you just described is such an old mentality that I disagree with so much. And I made a video on this once. I got like really controversial with like random people commenting on my stuff. Yeah. And it's like, there's a certain group of men who like, all they want is a woman who will take care of their kids, who has no like college degree or university degree. And like, what's the point of that, bro?
Like a trophy wife?
Yeah, basically.
Like, because the thing is, here's the thing. If your whole ideal woman is like, she's pretty and she's gonna do everything I say, you're not describing a wife. You're just describing like a house pet. You're describing pretty much a human slave. Like,
exactly.
Let's be honest, because you're giving her a house. You're providing her with food, money, whatever, and then she got to do everything else. That's a slave, bro. Like, let's be honest here.
And that's why I can't stand when I meet those types of people.
It's hard.
It gives us a bad reputation.
It does.
That's why people say men is trash, men whatever.
Because it's so fucking close. Because the problem is a lot of guys, with the rise of social media and the rise of just the internet in general, guys don't have to learn how to talk to people. They don't learn to regulate themselves properly, whatever, right? And so as a result, they don't go outside. They don't get
touch grass.
They don't touch grass. And like then they see like, oh, the women don't want us. All girls are the same. And then they start acting out and they start saying really disrespectful things. They start doing weird shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, like women are the issue, and they flock to these people like Andrew Tate and all these like red pill people, because they're like, well, these guys are telling you that's like the women a lot of time are the problem, and women have these high standards, and they're the reason I can't get laid and all this other stuff. And then they push all the resentment onto women, and you can't fully blame them, because at the end of the day, you as a guy, just because you're a guy doesn't mean you deserve these things, right? And
they think it's like entitlement.
It's a level of entitlement, because even the red pill people to an extent talk about you can't be fully entitled, like you gotta like earn it, right? But then that's a small percentage compared to like they want to push this much on women and this much on guys, right? And so when you're putting all this on women, being like, you women gotta do it all, And us men, man, I'll bring some money and then you know what you got to do. Like, it's just...
Yeah, on paper, that's how they look at it. But a real relationship isn't that. Yeah, it's like you said. It's just not. That's not a relationship. That's a human slave.
It's a human
and it's you.
How does it?
Like, I don't get it.
So much communication. My aunt, her and her husband have I think, a really good relationship. They like found a way to divvy up chores. They both work full time. They found a way to divvy up chores and separate house tasks. And they did a pretty good one. And when I look at it, I'm like, that's a healthy relationship. I see like they can fight, but they like settle it pretty fast.
Yeah.
And that's like the way it goes. And like a lot of people look at him and they're like, damn, he's not a manly man, whatever. But it's like, shit, like he's running a healthy relationship. He seems really happy. Fuck, like that's like a great thing. Like me and my sister, we went and stayed with them for a bit when we went to go visit family.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like a very healthy way to be in a relationship. Because a lot of time in our communities, like, I think you can attest to this, especially with like, I don't know if specifically for you, but at least for me, like, there's not a large amount of healthy relationships within my culture. A lot of people.
You're right. It's not the same.
It's not. And then like the thing is like it's weird because then it's like because think about it, a lot of people get divorced when they're like in their early 30s, in their 20s, whatever, right? In the West. But like a lot of these people in like at least my culture, it's like they're getting divorced in their 40s. They're damn near 50 and they're getting divorced. And you're like, what the hell is this? It's because all their kids are grown up. They finally are like, well, I shouldn't have to be with you because you're a pain in my ass. Yeah. This relationship isn't healthy, and they finally do it. And you're like sitting there and you're like, well, damn, like these aren't healthy relationships. There's not a lot of examples of healthy relationships in our culture, and it's not great. And the problem is a lot of, like, think about it, like you grew up Muslim, right?
Sorry?
Did you grow up Muslim?
Yeah.
So because like even like for us, like when we learn about like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he always it always talks about like what's it called, like the way he treats his wife, the way he treats his kids, the way he treats his families. It was always like, respect. You're very kind. You don't touch them. You don't yell at them. You're very calm.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, shit, that's a great way to do it. Like, he was the prime example. And it's like, all these people, like, because a lot of these places are Muslim, and they're, like, talking about, oh, we want to emulate the Prophet as much as possible. Well, then emulate his good behavior.
Yeah.
Don't just emulate,
exactly.
Don't emulate just the dua he makes or the prayer he makes. Like, emulate his behavior. How he treats people, how he treats kids. One of the greatest things I ever heard of the story was, like, he's praying tarawih, like the nightly prayers during Ramadan.
Yeah.
And there's these kids like running around and they jump on his back while he's in like
the story.
And he like the kid sits on his back and he doesn't get up till the kid gets off his back. That is he makes, and he's imam, right? So everyone's waiting for him to get up, but they're all staying down for however long until the kid gets up.
All the blood's rushing in their head.
Exactly. Like, that's a level of patience. That's a level of kindness. And obviously, he's like the ideal person, right? You want to be as much like him, but you're never truly going to be like him.
Yeah.
But at least try to emulate that level of patience and kindness that you should have towards like women and children, especially as a guy. And I think like a lot of these guys want to talk about accountability. But what accountability are you taking, right? Are you gonna help out around the house? Are you gonna take the responsibility to be the bigger person in every situation, right? And a lot of guys don't do that because they just want to be like, damn, all these girls, all these hoes, all these bitches. Like, it's a fucked mentality, right? Because if you constantly deflect and you say like, these guys are all messing it up, I'm gonna treat them worse because this guy on a podcast in friggin' Miami said I should.
Yeah, the party.
You're deflecting.
Yeah.
That's like being like, oh man, I want to work in oil money because like look how people are living in Dubai. I'm like, that's probably not gonna be you.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, that's the problem. We were talking about it before we started recording. Yeah. Like the other side, like we were talking about the extreme, how like women hate men, and then now we're talking about how men hate women. These things are just like, you can't be on the extremes, and if you are, it's like, I just can't stand those people.
No,
like,
it's so bad.
I'm pretty much, for me, I'm in the middle, because I like my mom and my sister had a huge influence on me growing up. Yeah. I have like a huge like feminine side or whatever, like that's
I can get that because like I could relate to that because like a lot of my family is like most of my mom's side of the family is all women.
Yeah.
Or pretty much all women. And my dad's side, it's like it's just my dad and my uncle, and we didn't really visit that side of the family that often. So like every time I see it, it's like always girls, right? And so you just learn how to interact with girls more. You learn how to be like more, I guess, empathetic in a sense.
Exactly, yeah.
You learn to understand people's emotions a lot more. And I'm not saying I'm the best at it because it's still like, as a guy, it's a little bit more foreign. It takes a little bit more understanding on my part to like fully grasp it.
Yeah.
But I think I try my best, and like I think it gives me a lot more insight, and I think it's good. Like guys should learn from their moms, learn from their sisters, because I think one of the biggest things, like, a lot of girls tell me, they're like, oh, when a guy has a sister, it's like green flag because like he He knows how to talk to him. He knows
That's
how to listen
true,
to
though.
women. Yeah,
It actually is true.
100%.
Because the people that we're talking about, like the red pill people,
It's all brothers.
yeah, exactly. They don't have the influence of like sisters, which is so important.
And even if they
no
do,
close relationship with their moms either.
they don't know. And that's a big thing. I think being in a close relationship with your mom and your sister is huge. Just as much as with your dad. Like, one of the biggest things, like, dads teach you a lot and moms teach you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I think that's, like, one of the biggest things why, like, I feel really bad for people who have, like, separated parents. Because it's fucking hard to learn everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people I know who have, like, separated parents, like, it's tough for them to get one side or the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they grow up around their mom more, they don't understand the other side. If they grow up with their dad more, they don't understand the other side.
Yeah, and they're probably learning more things from just one or the other instead of like both.
And at the end of and eventually they're gonna resent one anyways. They're gonna end up like learning from their peers more than anything. And like, what is it? Divorce statistics. It's like, if you have divorced parents, you're more likely to end up in prison. You're more likely to not graduate high school, to go to college, whatever.
Crime goes up
significantly. Because there's a certain amount of balance your parents bring you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like, it's you can't have one or the other. You gotta have both. And I think like obviously there's gonna be some people who are divorced that do it greatly, and their kids turn out amazing. There's no like there's gonna be people like that, but like you can't. The statistics are there, right? Like numbers do lie, but like some numbers don't lie.
Yeah, dude. I wanted to ask you, because we're talking more about like family and stuff right now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the most important thing in a relationship that you look for?
Shit. Okay, so everyone always talks about like communication.
I know, right?
That's what everyone says, but I don't think it's necessarily communication. I think it's like level of vulnerability, because you're not going to communicate with someone and you're not going to give someone a lot unless you're like vulnerable with them.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to, I guess, show them like you're gonna have to drop the act, right? Because I think a lot of people forget to do that.
Like they play a character when they're meeting a girl or girls meeting a guy?
100%. Like if
like how?
Okay, so like if I go and talk to a girl for the first time, I'm gonna test this. Like I'm gonna play up certain aspects of myself. I'm gonna dim down other ones. I'm gonna talk with my voice deeper. I'm gonna puff out my chest. I'm gonna act super confident.
Yeah.
Even if like I'm not those things in certain aspects, 100% I'm gonna play it up because you want to make a good first impression, right? But then eventually, like when someone likes you, they're okay with your flaws, right? So when you're gonna present it, they're more likely to listen, right?
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you don't want to see a guy like slouching.
No,
like,
you want to see a guy like this, and he's like, hi there. Like you want him to like say everything with chest, right?
Yeah.
And even with girls, like I think girls definitely play it up. Like think about a girl. Like have you been on a date before?
Like not really. No.
Like you ever go?
I've been with a girl that I've liked like at like school or like outside.
Okay, but like.
But not like really like one-on-one.
Not one date. Like a lot of the time, girls like they put on their makeup. They try to look their best. They have really good posture. They stare at your eyes, whatever. And it's like they want to present certain aspects of themselves more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just natural. We wanna display the best parts of ourselves, but we have to learn that level of vulnerability, that we're gonna be open and honest. Because when you're open and honest, then you're willing to do everything else. But the other thing with relationships is like, you have to both have a purpose in the relationship. Like, why are we in the relationship? What's the end goal?
End goal, yeah, man.
Because a lot of people can be in relationships where they don't like each other at first, and they learn to like each other. Because you can learn to love someone over time. If I stuck you in a room with someone for 10 years, if you don't kill each other, you're gonna love them by the end of the time. Let's be honest.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Eventually, because you're just with that person, and I think it's that level of patience and discipline that like. Yeah, so I think it's that patience and discipline. Like, you can create a really good relationship with someone, but I think it takes some time to get it done.
Do you think it's better to have the love first and then, where do you think the love part comes in?
Dude, love is hard.
Because it's really, I hear mixed opinions about this.
I hear mixed opinions about this because I think love is such a weird thing, because it's, how do you know if you love someone? And that's the thing, because like I think the biggest thing is like. The thing is, like, I look at it like, for example, my parents, they got married pretty quick. I think they met, then 3 months later, get the kitab, they're married.
Oh, really? Three.
So they met each other. They knew pretty fast. Like, they met like twice. They knew they liked each other, and they said, "Oh, let's get married." My dad said, "I'm gonna move to Fort McMurray. I know you live in Ontario, like Toronto. You want to move to Fort McMurray?" She said, "I don't know where that is, but sure." But no, Fort Mac is a weird place. That's where I was born, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Damn. At least you're Albertan.
I'm a full-fledged Albertan. Man. No, but it's like that. So it's like, and that's the thing. Like you're not gonna love someone right away. Like I think it's like, how do you know you love someone if you don't like live with them and you don't spend a lot of time?
Exactly. That's kind of a problem for us.
Because if you date someone, like you could date someone for like a year, and they could lie for a year. Like I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen guys like play a girl for a year just to get some, and they never talk to her again. And she was like, I thought he was the one. And vice versa. I've seen guys get. I know a guy. I'm not gonna say who this guy is, obviously, but like, I know a guy that he was with a girl, and for a couple years, right?
Okay.
They break up. Gets with his best friend.
The
girl gets with his best friend.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
And
that's messed up.
And insanely fucked up. And you sit there and you're like, well, shit. She told him she loved him and she cared about him. And then she got with his best friend after a week. So
1 week.
1 week. Yeah, she was 100% on my life. She was cheating on it because there's no way after a week you're like sitting here. Like, oh, we're gonna make something happen.
Yeah.
It's you're sitting there and she's like, she was plotting 100% and he was plotting too.
Yeah, that stuff is messed up, bro. So
I think the vulnerability, probably to answer your question, is probably the biggest thing. I think being vulnerable, because if you're willing to be open and yourself with someone, everything else in the relationship kind of just falls. Yeah. Because you can learn to become a good communicator. You can learn to love someone. You can learn to do everything else. I think, but you can't. You got to learn to be open and vulnerable with someone.
Okay, I want to ask you: do you think love is real?
I think love is real. I think love is definitely real. Because like, there's got to be some force that drives people together, right? Yeah. Because I think there's love that's like platonic, and I think there's love that's like more romantic. But I think love is 100% real. I think because there's how do I explain it? Because there's a difference when you see people, right? Because like when you are on good terms with someone versus when you like someone versus when you love someone, you look at them different. Like your heart beats a little bit faster. You act a different way, and it can't just all be in your head, right? So I think love is real, but I don't think love matters as much as people try to make it out to be. I think love matters to an extent, but I think like people got to focus on the more important aspects of relationships. You know what I mean? Like focus.
What do you mean? Like it doesn't matter? Because when you love someone, you love the things that matter about them.
Well, not necessarily. Because a lot of people people will say that people will be like, I love this person. I want to be around this person all the time. But their enjoyment of being around that person kind of becomes their main priority. And in I don't know what the word. In contrast to like what matters. Like, is that person going to be a reliable person in the house? Is that person going to be a good partner? Is that person going to help me when I need them to help me? Like things like that. Okay. So it takes precedence over sometimes being like, I really like this person. I love them so much. I just want to be around them over like all the bad things they do and all the good things they're supposed to do. So it's not a lot of like I find a lot of girls, for example, I tend to more with girls than guys, but I think a lot of time girls will be in a really bad relationship because they love a guy, but he's not pulling the weight. You know what I mean? He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's lacking in all these aspects, and so like there's love there. But is it a good relationship?
So they stay together. So you're saying they stay together for the sake of like each other, loving each other.
They love each other, but it's not a good relationship.
But they don't they don't like each other.
No, they love each other, but they're like how do I say? You could like a lot of people will love someone they're not pulling their weight in the relationship. They're not helping out. They're not being properly. They're not communicating properly. They're not helping out, things like that. So when you have like somebody that like loves somebody, like say. Girl loves this guy, right? Guy does not really love that girl. So she may love him and he might not really love her, but he likes her, so he stays around in the relationship, whatever. And he's not doing any of the things he's supposed to do, but she wants to stay with him just because she loves him. Yeah, okay. That's not good. Sense. Yeah, so I think love is real. I think it gets overweight in the precedent of a relationship. I think relationships should be more of are we gonna mutually benefit each other? On top of the fact that we like being around each other. Right?
Yeah. So like how we behave around each other.
100%. Yeah. And behavior is a huge thing.
That's interesting. No. I want to ask you what do you think is the best advice you've ever gotten in your entire life?
The best advice? Ooh.
It could be something you tell yourself, someone else told you.
I heard this quote today actually. Wait, I wrote this down actually. This is a really good quote. Okay. Do you know who Tim Duncan is?
Yeah.
The basketball player. Yeah. So it was good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good is better and your better is best. I think that is like one of the best quotes I've ever heard.
I gotta re-listen to that, bro.
But it essentially was just like a quote meaning like you gotta keep working until whatever you do becomes better and better until it's the best. That's like one of my favorite quotes. Best advice I've ever gotten from someone? You're young, keep going. Because I'm 19. How old are you?
20, yeah.
20. Are you turning 21 or you just turned 20?
Just turned 20 in March. Yeah.
Think about it. What's the average lifespan of a person? 70.
Yeah,
for guys, like
70,
74,
80.
74 years. Even longer if we're healthy.
Yeah. You got like 50 plus, 60
We
years.
have so much time.
Yeah.
We're young, so keep it going. Because we have so much time to improve ourselves, to keep working and figure it out. Because I think like now, as long as you have a rough blueprint of where you want to go in life, you'll get there. But I think it's we got to keep it pushing. Because I think a lot of people give up, right? Or not give up, but they don't see the fruit of their labor right away, and they want to like just drop it. Like fuck, I can't do this anymore. But I think it's that level of being like, hey, like I have all this time, I can improve, I have the opportunity to change. Like I get genuinely inspired when I see those like 35-year-olds, those 40-year-olds in the class with us, like in the university classes.
Oh yeah.
I get inspired because I'm like, dude, they want it.
Yeah.
They may have not had the best decision when they're younger, but they want it now, and that's all that matters.
And they put their egos aside, sitting with like a bunch of kids.
A bunch of kids.
Yeah, that's
I'm not gonna say anything to you. I'm gonna respect you. And even like if you're not going because you want to get a job, you say you're just doing it for fun. Because I know some people might just take it for fun. I don't know. But like even then, like still respect you. You still want to improve, right?
Yeah. I feel like the thing is like I know for me, I just feel like I really want to get like a relationship figured out now. I don't want to like, because I feel like it's just such a good thing, and it would be good for me. So I'm trying, right? I try really hard. The thing is, the people I want don't want me. The people who want me, I don't want. And there's people who aren't emotionally ready to be in a relationship. Well, I feel like I am.
Okay.
Right? So it's just like it's a bad situation.
I always say this. It's I tell people this all the time. Like, you gotta find like confidence builders. I like to call it.
Like what do you mean by like people or things?
Like people. You gotta learn how to talk. Like you gotta learn to talk to certain people. Just build your confidence. And I think another thing, it's like with relationships, it's like it's just gonna happen. I say don't force it, because if you force it and you're like, hey, like I need to, like I think now is the best time to do it while I'm young and figure it out so that I'm ready to get married. It's gonna happen, dude. Because because think about it, a lot of people our age get in relationships and they end. Like there's people that date all through high school and they end when they get to uni.
Yeah,
because 3 years and then they're like leaving, and sorry, they're just kids. But like even now, like I know people that date for like a year or two in university and they leave each other. And you can't like, if you go out searching for it, I think you'll never really find a good person. I think you just gotta let it come to you. Because I think people, I have this belief. It's just like people naturally, you're gonna be attracted to people that you're like or you can get along with just naturally by yourselves. Like you don't have to do too much.
Yeah, but what do you mean by so for men, right? Like for us, we don't get approached, or like not by approached by people that like most of the time we would like, because we don't get to choose in that situation, right? Yeah. And women always, or most of the time, get to choose. So like how would it work then? You're just talking about like meeting people, like going to new places and stuff, or how would you meet that person?
Go to the gym. No, I think the biggest thing, it's like when it comes to meeting people, to random places. I think your classroom, your friend group, whatever. Like, because in university is filled with people, right? And like I think for a lot, like join different clubs. Like I know a lot of guys, they join like the MSA to like find a wife, and they're like in the.
That's their motivation.
I kid you not.
That's
I've seen
crazy.
guys go to the MSA to find a wife, and that's power to you, brother. If that's what you want to do.
If it works, then I mean.
If it works, it works.
But isn't that that's kind of the thing we were talking about earlier? Like, isn't that kind of creepy?
Man, they're trying to find a woman through God. I don't know what to tell you. They want to do it the religious way. They're like, I want to do it. I knew a guy, he got married at 19 because he was like, I know I can't control myself, so like I want to do it the halal way. This guy's
but
like
that's
that.
also kind of like destructive.
That
right?
is to an extent, yeah. But power to him, I guess. Like I know it's dumb, but if that's what he wants to do, that's what he's gonna do. I can't stop him.
Yeah.
But I think with people, it's always, if you want to meet people that have similar interests, join a club that you really like. You'll meet people. Gym is a weirdly good place. Like a lot of girls talk to guys at the gym. Like I think I've been approached to the gym a couple times, and it's always a little bit awkward, but it's say hi, hello, bye, whatever. And if you like that, if you think that person's cute, just grab their Instagram, grab their number.
If you were to watch this video in 10 years...
In 10 years, okay.
How do you think it... Where do you see yourself, and what would you want to say to yourself?
I'll see myself having a connecting beard. That's my first
Connecting
one.
beard?
A connecting beard.
You don't already have one?
Let me explain. My beard is...
Because I haven't ever seen you with like a grown beard.
See, here's the thing. I have this clean shaven face right now because I was like, we're on a podcast, we're gonna be classy, but I normally get this when it just comes down to the lining.
Oh yeah.
And I keep like my little goatee here with like my mustache.
You should do that. That would look nice.
Well, no, I did, and then
keep it.
I got flamed into getting rid of it, and also I just like switched it up. Don't worry about that. No, because like, my family's always like, you gotta look as clean as possible, right? So it's like, if I have like this like weird stubby stuff over here and it's not fully even, just cut it. And then like let it regrow, right? Because it wasn't growing evenly.
Yeah.
And like I remember the times I used to fiend for facial hair, and then now it's just like it's a little bit easier not to grow it, so I don't mind it as much. But it took me like 6 months to get like my little goatee thing coming in, and I was like, I feel like Johnny Depp. I slick back my hair, everything.
I mean, I think this clean shave still looks good on you.
Okay, no, we're good. I keep using
it's
this recording.
Dude, it's gonna shut off next time.
Okay.
Like, next time it's done, it's gonna shut off.
That's fine.
But dude, no, clean shave looks good on you, bro.
I don't mind it. I think it looks decent right now. I have my little pedo stash, but it's whatever.
You should grow that out too, bro. Literally.
I'm saying if I,
cause
here's the thing, cause like if I shave my mustache, I look like a 10-year-old. I can't do it again. I have a baby face. My face hella round. That's why.
Yeah, no, it kind of is.
I don't even remember what we were talking about earlier. You know.
I don't know either, bro.
Oh, what was it? Oh, we were talking about like how to get into a relationship.
Oh, sorry, no.
Brothers at the MSA.
It was it was where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Where I see myself in 10 years.
Yeah.
Man, hopefully working at a law firm or something of the sorts. I think I want to definitely work in the corporate world. I love money. That's a good fun fact about me. I love making money. I wouldn't say I'm cheap. I'm not cheap. I'm okay with spending money. It's just like I also want to make a good amount. I want to be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Do you think money buys happiness?
Fuck yeah.
To what extent?
To what extent? Okay, I think money doesn't necessarily buy happiness. That's the wrong phrase, but I think money is like the catalyst for happiness. So it's like you can have, because think about it, a rich man's always gonna be happier than a poor man. Like if you gotta spend every month trying to like pay off your bills and pay off your debt,
yeah,
you're gonna be stressed.
If your needs aren't met.
Yeah. But a rich guy, you're less stressed. That's how I look at it. It's a stress reliever.
Yeah.
And man, money is important. Like money, like that's the thing. Like especially like our culture. Like I'm the son of an immigrant, right? And like money has a value because it's like you need that shit to survive. Because because my family's seen the like when you're from a country like Syria or Saudi Arabia or any of these other places, and you see like how bad some places are and how corrupt these places are and how hard it is to live and all this other stuff, you're gonna appreciate the fuck out of all of it, right?
Yeah, once you get it, yeah.
Once you get it, because like that stuff means so much more now. I feel like I forgot something. I feel like I lost. No, okay, it's all in here.
You good? Okay, dude. Do you think what does your happiness come from?
My happiness?
Like right now, what do you think is the biggest one?
Ooh, sitting in silence.
Really, like alone time?
I like sit in the room by myself and I just like think.
Do you do what the hell is it called?
Like meditation?
Yeah, meditation. Do you meditate at all, or
not
just
really?
sit?
I don't be meditating like that, but I think I just sit. I think just like ask myself questions and kind of answer them. Because
that's fun.
I think because happiness at the end of the day is gonna come from you, right? Because like the world's gonna keep spinning. Is how I always say. It's like the world's gonna keep spinning, but how are you gonna keep up with it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you get sad or you get in a rough space in your life, keep spinning. It wasn't keep moving, and either you're gonna be left behind or you're gonna keep pushing forward, right? So it's like for me, it's always just keep pushing. Because I'll have like parts of my life where I'm like, I'm really sad, like I can't do this. Like I had some like depressive, I guess like eras in my life where I was really sad and it was like hard to keep going.
Yeah.
But I think just the fact that it's like I don't think like I think to myself, I look at myself, I think I have a lot to offer people and a lot to offer the world. And so that kind of keeps me going, like I have to keep pushing, I got to be happy and I got to be blessed. But like happiness, gratefulness as well. Gratefulness is huge. People aren't grateful, man.
Yeah.
when you see it all, you're not grateful. And even like I wouldn't say like I grew up poor or anything, because like thank the Lord, like alhamdulillah, my family's always been like middle class, and like I never really had to like overly struggle or anything, which is good. But be grateful, man. You got a roof over your head. You're going to university. You got family. You
Food.
got friends. Food. Do you know how much of the world doesn't have food and water?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And when we're fasting, bro, we feel that. Like, you know that feeling? It's just
I
so
don't
bad
even complain.
sometimes.
I hate complaining when I fast because I'm like, there's a kid in the world that's been doing this for 6 months straight,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's no iftar to like, or
It
yeah,
fills
there's no
your
iftar
stomach.
to like eat food that you're not eating. They're not eating at the end of the day. They're doing it for months straight.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I pray for those kids. It's a fucked up world.
Yeah, no, I talked about this in my latest video. The world is naturally a bad place. There's always bad things.
I think the world naturally is good, but I believe there's bad people.
Really?
I think there's bad people. I think one of the biggest problems with people and just humans in general is we just have this like natural greed. We just always want more.
Yeah.
Like Scrooge McDuck is the average person. I kid you not. Like if you gave money to everyone, the shit they'd be doing is crazy. Like think about it. Whenever society is like hella prosperous, what do we do? We want to keep experimenting. We want to keep trying new things. We keep trying to push the limits, see how far we can go before like society collapse. Hard times, strong people. We gotta rebuild society. Think about every empire, Ottomans, Roman, Greek, whatever. All these empires, they'll fall. Because eventually, like, people get way too comfortable. They get complacent. They're not grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes to shit. And then now you got to rebuild it. So I think when it comes to happiness and success, gratefulness and awareness, it's so big.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I keep saying one thing, and then I switch up my answer after. I keep realizing I keep doing that.
I mean, you're adding on to it, bro. That's what it's about. That's the reason you're here right now. Is because you're good at talking.
It's good talking.
Yeah. No, man, it's all good.
No. Some people fucking piss me off with that stuff. Part of my language, but like, people piss me off when it comes to complacency.
Okay.
I hate people that complain about shit. Man, there's some people I know that like they never took public transit, or they can't take public transit
because they're just too privileged.
They're too posh for it. They're too good. They don't know how to do it. Bro, hop on the goddamn bus and shut up. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I know a kid. His brother drove him to school every day when he was in grade 10 until he was old enough to get his license. And then this kid just drove himself every day to school. This guy never took a bus in his life.
Really?
Never took a bus to school.
Yes.
Are you fucking serious?
We just can't relate to those people, bro. Like that's why I can't be friends with those people.
My mom said, hop your ass on the bus and come home.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to feel like a loser because like up until a certain point, I never took public transit. Probably up until grade 7, I never took public transit. I just took like the yellow school bus.
Oh, really?
Because I never needed to.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, man, I just want to hop on the yellow school bus. Hop on the yellow school bus. I only rode the yellow school bus. I messed up. I wanted to ride public transit really bad because all the cool kids were on public transit, taking like their photos on public transit. I was like, I want to be a cool kid like that.
Yeah.
I found this public transit. I'm like, fuck public transit. This is disgusting.
See, that's how we are, bro. It's weird.
But like that's the thing. I didn't mind it. Like I don't mind hopping on transit now because I know how to navigate it. But the first time you see like a homeless guy on the bus, or you see like a weird person yelling on the bus.
You're young, high school, bro.
I was in middle school. I didn't know how to act. I was like, oh, mom, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And mom's like, just don't provoke anyone. You're fine. Because they don't. Most people that are like addicts on the street, they're not gonna attack you. They're pretty nice.
Yeah.
I had a guy offer me food one time on the bus the other day.
Did you accept?
A homeless guy. No, I didn't accept it. But like he like opened a bag of like chips in front of us, and he just started going like this to everyone. Like, do you want any? And I was like, damn. I feel bad if I take any, but they look good.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's over it. That was how long was it? Like an hour and a half? 2 hours?
Hour and a half, yeah. I think
that was
so.
wild. That was fun though.
But yeah, man. Thanks for being interested in coming on. You have any last words?
I don't. Okay, don't put me on the spot. Give me last words.
It's not like I'm killing you, bro.
No, but like last words. Man, listen to Boomer's podcast. Follow, subscribe.
Thanks, bro.
I don't know what platform this is going on, but
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music.
follow it. Or I'm coming to your house. Wait, what? Sorry. No, but honestly, live, laugh, love, as the white woman says, and.
Sir.
That's all I can say. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, bro.
I appreciate you.
Thanks so much, bro.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, okay. Like the video. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. You're going to come on again, for sure.
Hopefully.
Inshallah. Next year.
I'm going to come next year?
Yeah.
I got to wait a whole year?
Yeah, because my house is being built next year.
Man, I'm going to start having like Theo Vaughn type cameos. I'm going to come on and start talking about the weirdest stuff.
Okay, bro. You can be in a TikTok maybe.
I'm down.
Writing
a TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, thanks
thanks
for watching. See ya. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.
Bye.